Let's check in on the markets now with our business editor, Ticky Fullerton. Ticky, we've had a bit of a down day on the markets. How much of that was due to Qantas?
Well, good afternoon, Kieran. It was a big down day, 2.5% down we ended up. And I think a lot of it was the sentiment around Qantas, which, of course, isn't trading at the moment. The announcement of Joyce's 6,000 jobs to go and having to raise $1.9 billion in capital. Now, I understand that's been covered by the underwriters are off the hook. That effectively has found a home. But look, I think what it does is it just shows it's 100 years old this year, Qantas, and in the entire history, nothing as terrible has happened to Qantas as this. Alan Joyce himself has been through the financial crisis. He's had to ground aircraft in 2011. He said this is the worst challenge that the airline has ever faced. And it's both a reflection of our domestic economy. It's going to take a while to crank up, but the international economy is really dire. I mean, he doesn't think that's even going to get started until July of next year, as I'm sure you guys have been chatting about. Now, that's had a knock-on effect everywhere in the market, but particularly Webjet down 10%, Flight Centre 11.6%, corporate travel management down 8.1%. And goodness me, those bidders that we were talking about yesterday for Virgin, this incentive, the bondholders were trying to encourage a rosier outlook and people paying a higher price. Well, I think this will put a big dampener on that one.
Indeed. And there was some other jobs data too out today. Talk us through it.
Yeah, look, job vacancies, and they're also very grim, I mean, the vacancy rate for the last quarter to May, down 43%, the biggest fall in history. We're back to about 2005 levels now, and no surprise that the banking sector, the big four banks, were down by about 1.8 to 2.8%. And I think it's all really reflecting this situation about the economy and really how hard the recovery is going to be, particularly on the jobs front, and the need to avoid this, cliff that, again, I know you've been talking about today, and exactly what the government is going to do about it, particularly in areas like the arts and travel and those sorts of really vulnerable sectors.
Indeed, Ticky. Very difficult for them to navigate over coming weeks and months. We'll talk to you soon.